Hey everyone, it's Lexi and today I'm going to be sharing with you all the books that I ended up reading in the month of October. So I had a very interesting month of October. So first of all, I did do Vlogtober. It's all linked down below if you want to check out my vlog channel, but it was a pretty good month. It was a little crazy towards the end. I had midterms and all that, so I was studying for that and I was doing good. I was doing about like a book a week, so that was good until the 27th, and that's where everything just went downhill. So first of all, that Thursday it started out with the fire alarm going off at 2 o'clock in the morning, and there actually was a fire and we were out there for like good 2 hours. And then I'm the type of person where like when I'm up, like I can't fall back to sleep, so I was like on 2 hours of sleep that day. And I had my midterm, and then I started volleyball intramurals with some people in my program. And I played volleyball in high school and I ended up getting an injury where I had to kind of retire early. So I haven't played at that competitive level in a while. So I was really excited for kind of playing up again, but that only lasted about 10 minutes. I properly retore my ACL. So my knee is literally the size of a basketball. It's been a week now. I'm still waiting to get the MRI scheduled with other insurance stuff. So I'm gonna say like I have my handy dandy crutches right here. But if you want to see like that whole experience, then go check out the October 27th through the 31st vlogs, because that's where all that drama unfolded. But so that kind of threw off my reading because I was just exhausted and in so much pain. And like I tore my ACL 5 years ago. I'm coming to 5 years in January, and I heard the pop and felt it, and it feels like it did last time. So fingers crossed. Maybe it's just a really bad sprain, but I don't know, but I'm not very hopeful at the moment. So like, let's kind of, enough with my knee drama, let's go get started in the books that I've read this month. So starting out, I first read The Bone Garden by Tess Gerritsen, and this is one of her kind of more standalone mystery novels. She has a Roselle and Isles series, which is kind of a murder crime drama, but this one is a standalone that is kind of, it's murder mystery but has like a historical element twist to it. So it follows the story of a girl named Julie in present day who moves into this house that was built in the, I want to say, late 1800s, and she moves in there and she's doing some work in her garden, and she stumbles across these bones that have been buried there. So the anthropologists that came and kind of studied that think it was from the 1830s. So she kind of crossed paths with the previous owner's grandkid, I think he was, grandkid, and he's kind of finds all these documents and stories and all that, like that kind of show maybe what was going on around that point that could prove to be why the bones are there in the first place. So there's also that was the present day story, and then it also like flashes back to the 1830s where it follows a girl whose sister has died during childbirth, and she is left with this child and also this doctor who I guess he's like a resident and in Boston in the 1830s, and after this child's born, there's people that were associated with that birth are being brutally murdered by this figure, and no one knows why, and they think these murders might have a connection with the body that was found in Julie's backyard. So this was really interesting. I'm trying to be vague because I don't know, like I don't want to give too much away, but this is really good if you like kind of historical fiction, like crime novels, like murder mysteries, and this is perfect for your, like, right up your alley. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I loved it. Like I could picture everything, just how they described Boston at this time, and just how like the medical practices like changed over like how the medical practices were in the 1800s, and how like doctors didn't really wash their hands and all that stuff. So it was just really interesting to see. And Tess Gerritsen is a actual doctor, so the medical terminology is on point, and just kind of how that like research that it went into, like the medical like standards I guess at that time, like it's pretty accurate. So if you are like into all that stuff, then please check this book out. It is so good. So next I read In a Dark Dark Wood by Ruth Ware, and this follows the story about a girl named Nina who out of the blue gets invited to her best friend that she had in high school's like bachelorette party, even though she hasn't been in contact with her for like 10 years. And so when the book kind of starts out where Nina wakes up in the hospital and she doesn't remember what happened, she overhears police saying that there was a murder that took place at the bachelorette party, and she doesn't know who, she doesn't remember what happened. So this book, like for the most part, kind of follows her kind of remembering what happened and the events that led up to it, and then kind of the aftermath of everything. So I'm trying to be vague about this too, clearly. But yeah, this book was really interesting. Like, I found the biggest thing though, I found a lot of the characters in here were not very likable. I think that was the biggest thing. I don't know, but I still liked it. I was able to guess early on like who was actually kind of the mastermind behind everything that went through. Like, I kind of could figure out like the major like plot twists in it, but I still really enjoyed it. I gave like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was still good. If you kind of like suspense and kind of psychological thrillers, this might be a good one to check out. I don't know, maybe I'm just like gotten really smart with these types of stories, but I really liked it. It was gripping and I really liked it, so yeah. And lastly this month, I read And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and this is a book that was required reading for grade 7, and I remember I was 11, so I don't think this was a very appropriate book for me to read at that point, so it really freaked me out. So I was like, I'm 21, almost 22 now, so I think I could be like read this now. So basically it follows a group of, I think there's 9 people who are sent to like this island with this mansion on it, and they're not sure like why they're all there, and then suddenly one by one they are getting murdered. So it kind of follows that story, and I didn't remember who was the person responsible. I remembered kind of the plot twist at the end, but I couldn't remember who was the one responsible for it. But as reading it, I could figure it out. So that did take away from the reading experience because I was able to figure out from what I remembered, but I still really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It is definitely kind of like a classic murder mystery, and if you're into this, if you want to try a classic, the writing in here, I think it has like that British like so how they like actually say things is a little kind of different. It's not used to like the American dialogue, so some parts were a little choppy, I think, just because reading from like a Canadian, like American ideology, like, or kind of viewpoint. But I still really enjoyed it. I can't believe they made me read this when I was 11. Like, I don't know. I know my parents were really mad that they made me read this, and I didn't like it at the time. It really freaked me out because it is quite graphic, but that's why I said, like, it's okay now. I enjoyed it, so yeah. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my November TBR. I do have the book that I'm currently working on now and all that stuff. Like, I have like a good chunk of books I'm really excited to read this month. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what you think about these books, or if you've read them, or if you have any suggestions. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.